What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you all are healthy and well. Strac Nior back for another reaction video. This was highly recommended. Thank you so much for all the recommendations. Today we'll be reacting to why the average Australian is richer than you and why the US can't copy them. Wow. This was directly stated towards the US. Why we cannot copy Australia. Let's go ahead and check this video out, man. Once again, thank you so much, everyone, for all the recommendations.
A new Credit Suisse report puts the median wealth of Australian adults at almost $409,000.
Household wealth is surging, with new figures showing it's climbed to nearly $15 trillion.
When you think about the richest country on earth, what comes to mind? The United States, right? The land of opportunities, home of some of the biggest companies in the world, and the stomping ground of billionaires. And if we take a look at the average wealth, you might be right. Take all the money in America and divide it by the number of people, and that number is astronomical. But that average is heavily skewed by the super rich at the very top.
The growing gap between rich and poor Americans is one of the biggest challenges facing the country. Get this, the richest 1% controls more wealth now than at any time in more than a half century.
But if we take a look at the median, the person standing right in the middle of the pack, the true average Joe, the United States start falling down that list. And who's sitting near the very top year after year? Australia.
That puts Australia on top of the international list, above Belgium and New Zealand. Canada, the UK and France are also in the top 10, and the USA sits down at 18th.
Wow.
That's right, the typical Australian has a significantly higher net worth compared to the average American. And we're talking double or even triple in some years. So what's the secret? Did they win the lottery or discover something new? And it turns out it's neither. In fact, it comes down to two very powerful economic engines, a unique retirement system that forces everyone to become an investor, and an absolute obsession with real estate.
Nice.
And today we're going to dive deep into the Australian model and see why it's caught the eyes of American policymakers, including Trump, and why experts say that bringing it to the United States is almost impossible. And if you like videos like this, make sure to subscribe.
No, wait, what? Trump said he's looking into an Australian-style retirement program for America. Here's how it works. Starting off at number 1, no debt. How are we supposed to get this? How are we supposed to get this? How are we supposed to get it? We are in serious debt, man. We are in serious debt.
Bringing it to the United States is almost impossible.
It sounds good.
And if you like videos like this, make sure to subscribe and let's get started with the video.
Let me go ahead and like your video, brother. Facts, this is gonna be a good one.
Retirement is the final chapter of the American dream.
And let's start with the biggest difference.
Ain't that some BS? Retirement is the final, chapter of an American dream. When does the dream start? When do we actually live in the good times? These people are literally waiting until they retire to live a good life. And then be talking about how they not financially supported or government. They don't really have that much support for the government, this and that. Whether it's healthcare wise or financially, this and that. After they retire. So it's like, man, we got older people wanting to go back to work and make some money, a little extra on top of their retirement pension or Social Security, or if their husband or wife passed away, you get Social Security off of them. Stuff like that. No.
Retirement is the final chapter of the American.
Final chapter.
Retirement is the final chapter of the American dream.
Let people tell it in America. This is when it starts. When they get to enjoy their life and live. When you're 60 years old. Now you finally have found that stability in your life. Because you ain't working no more. Oh, maybe you can afford it now. You're retired. You got that money coming in without having to go into work. You can live your life a little bit now. That sucks. We got other people in other countries, specifically Australia. You guys are living your life. You might get off at 3, 4 p.m., 5, latest. Man, I'm going out. I'm about to enjoy it. Sun not going down to what? 9 o'clock? Hello? What? Come on, guys.
And let's start with the biggest difference. Retirement in the United States depends on your 401k. It's great if your employer offers it, and even better if they match your contribution. And really fantastic if you make enough money to contribute to it, but that's largely voluntary.
Thanks.
U.S. Social Security is facing insolvency by 2033.
If that trust fund runs short, benefits would have to be cut by around 20%.
Whoa!
At the same time, the U.S. retirement system received a C+ rating from the Mercer CFA Institute Global Pension Index in 2024.
In Australia, they have something called superannuation, and it's not just optional.
Our superannuation funds now hold more than $4 trillion worth of assets.
That makes Australia one of the top investors in the world, but you can't...
The chief executive of super peak body ASFA says its new study shows compulsory super is reducing the government's need to pay for the age pension.
Introduced in the early 1990s, superannuation is a government-mandated system where employers must contribute a percentage of every employee's earnings into a private retirement fund. And it started at 3% and has been slowly rising, and as of today it's moving closer to 12%. Think about that for a second. For every dollar you earn, your boss has to put an additional 12 cents into an investment account that you can't touch until you retire, and it doesn't come out of your pay. It's on top of it, whether you're a CEO or flipping burgers.
And it doesn't come out of your pay? You know, okay, we're used to taking it out of our money. You know, your job could do it. You could have it set up automatically so the job withholds, for taxes and stuff. But you could get that withheld, and you could get your money withheld for a 401k. But I call it a 401k, but it's in the US it's called a 401k. Do you guys pronounce the whole thing 401k or just say 401k? Please let me know, and I'll start saying it properly, like the proper way. But yeah, you have those options. You were given those options, or you can invest into your retirement yourself. Say you download an app like Fidelity and stuff like that. Do you guys use that app? I don't know if you guys have that in Australia. Great app. You can invest in your future, such as retirement. Especially if you're an entrepreneur, you could go ahead and put like maybe 200, 250 every month or something, or 100 every 2 weeks, something like that, and it will grow, and it actually builds interest. Not a lot of interest as much as like Capital One and stuff. But I'm comparing this to the US. I use Capital One as well, but it doesn't give as much interest as that. But it's still interest on top of what you are putting in for your retirement. Guys, you can have depending how much you put in, man, you can have a good amount saved up, at a young, early age as well. Yeah. If you were financially smart, yeah, you got to plan strategically. It's not about just keeping money in your savings, not building no interest. It's not about just keeping cash in your pocket, not building no interest. What are you doing with it? You just holding it to spend it? Nah, we got to invest that money. Put that money in the savings then and let it build interest if you're going to save it. Don't just have it sitting there in the shoebox. It's facts. And this is like stuff I learned growing up and everything, and like stuff you learn along the way and everything, man. Facts.
And it doesn't come out of your pay. It's on top of it. Whether you're a CEO or flipping burgers, you're building an investment portfolio from day one. And this creates a massive universal floor for wealth, even a low earning.
Wait, the employer is taking out, they're adding in an additional 12 cents, but it's not your money though. It's like theirs, or maybe from the business, because you're getting your food cut and they're saving more to the side for you. That is like mommy and daddy type of stuff, like that type of privileged care for what? That's beautiful. Your employer's doing that for you, if I'm hearing that right.
Think about that for a second. For every dollar you earn, your boss has to put an additional 12 cents into an investment account that you can't touch until you retire, and it doesn't come out of your pay.
So for every dollar I earn, my boss is going to put 12 cents in towards my retirement. But that 12 cents is not coming out of every dollar I earn or for my checks. That's coming, my boss doing that. Hey, you earned $1, you working with us. Here, let's put a 12 cents in there. What? That's beautiful. What?
Hey, it's on top of it. Whether you're a CEO or flipping burgers, you're building an investment portfolio from day one.
Nice.
And this creates a massive universal floor for wealth. Even a low-earning worker who spends every penny of their paycheck is still accumulating hundreds of thousands of dollars over a lifetime through the magic of compound interest. And it forces savings on a national level. This system has even built a colossal pool of retirement savings. Australia, a country a fraction of the United States' population, has the 4th largest pool of retirement assets in the world. And it's a massive pile of capital that gets invested back into stocks, infrastructure, and property, further fueling their economy. So that's pillar number 1, a system that ensures that almost everyone retires with a nest egg. And now for pillar number 2, and this one is a bit more controversial. Australians have a love affair with property.
Yeah, surprise, or no surprises really. It's all about housing prices mainly, which have had a huge surge during the pandemic, up about 30%, as well as superannuation and share portfolios doing a bit better as well.
Like in the United States, home ownership has been the primary way the middle class builds wealth. But in Australia, it's on steroids. For decades, Australian property prices have seen explosive growth, almost continuous, especially in major cities like Sydney as well as Melbourne.
I'll be added to the market soon. I will be the reason why your percentages go up, I promise. Because I'm getting this state out there. I promise. I've been saying this. A lot of countries, believe it or not. Oh, Strac gonna invest his money the right way. That way we could take multiple trips to these countries like it's normal. Like, you know, I want to be a part of your world on the normal. You know, instead of paying for that hotel, Strac got something. I got something out there in Australia, you know? I got a nice little bungalow. I got a nice little crib. I got a nice penthouse, whatever. Because while I'm not there, I tell you what, while I'm in the US working and grinding and do what I do, I'm going to have that as like a real estate business. You know, we're going to rent that out to anyone who decides they want to live. They want to go, you know, live there for a couple months. They want to go travel or take a nice trip, whatever. They want to get away with they spouse. Okay, cool. Airbnb it. You know, it's going to be on everything. Yeah. And I'm going to basically rent the place out, you know, and well, that's the rules of it. You have to take care of it and everything. Of course, I'll have a maid service out there going to, you know, clean the house and make sure everything is good. The bed sheets, no bed bug and all type of stuff, you know, for my guest. And then when I come out there and I visit, I got a place. We're going to shut it off for however long my stay is so nobody could book. I'm going to stay here and you guys could rebook when I leave. Simple. That's my plan. And I'm doing it for every single country that I want to go to, travel, I want to invest in. Yeah. So if you see me making a YouTube channel about the country, best believe I'm going to get highly invested into your country. It's deeper than these videos, baby. It's deeper than these videos, you know? I want to help your economy out as well because it has so much to offer. I don't mind investing my money into it. I'm telling you, I got a plan. I have a plan. You could do the same here in the U.S., my peoples, my Americans. You got your crib. You want to move. Say you want to go to Florida. You want to go somewhere else. Cool. If your house is almost paid off, if the house is paid off, save it. It's generational wealth. You got kids. Cool. Keep it for the kids. Let them live in it, you know, or let them rent it out. Until they get older, let them rent it out. Or you rent it out. It's like an Airbnb. There you go. Now you making money off of that house. When you guys pass away, whatever, you move on into eternal life, we got the kids now. Generational wealth being built because this house they grew up in is now being rented out Airbnb and they're making consistent money in their sleep. Along with any other else businesses and stuff that they're doing. This is what we got to do, man. This is how generational wealth is created, you know? Somebody got to start it. And, you know, everybody got to keep it going. That's it. But once it's started, come on, man. You know? I love this video, for real.
Like in the United States, home ownership has been the primary way the middle class builds wealth. But in Australia, it's on steroids. For decades, Australian property prices have seen explosive growth, almost continuous, especially in major cities like Sydney as well as Melbourne. A house that was bought for $200,000 30 years ago could easily be worth more than $2 million today.
Yep.
Because of the high percentage of Australians who own their home, this massive surge in asset value has lifted their net worth of nearly everyone in the middle class. For many people, their homes earn more money in value growth each year than they do from their actual jobs. Now, there's a big asterisk here as well. This makes Australians asset rich but cash poor.
And while the country's overall GDP continued to grow, its GDP per capita began to fall. In fact, per capita GDP fell for 21 consecutive months from March 2023 until December 2024.
All of this means that at the end of the day, people can afford to buy and save less.
And you might be a millionaire on paper because you own a 3-bedroom house, but you can't buy groceries with your kitchen wall. The high cost of housing also means a huge mortgage which eats into your disposable income. And it's really a double-edged sword, but there's no denying it pumps up the median wealth. So you have a system that creates a wealthy middle class through forced saving and a booming asset market. Yeah. And it sounds pretty good, right? Good enough that it caught the attention of people in Washington.
There's a certain Australian plan that people are liking and they're talking about. You know what I mean? There's a plan where, not for children necessarily, but it's for people, working people.
The US is facing a looming retirement crisis. Social Security has been under severe strain. A huge portion of the workforce has little or no private retirement saving. They're relying entirely on a system that wasn't designed to be the sole source of income.
Retirement is the final chapter of the American.
They're relying on a system that wasn't like, you know, supposed to be their sole source of income. What? Yo, I like how you put that, you know, because the way I think, bro, if it make money, it makes sense. If it's positive, if it stick to your morals, God's morals, not your morals, matter of fact, because us humans, we ain't perfect. We don't know what you be thinking. The Lord's morals, you be all right. You know, if this is positive, this is inspirational, motivational, what? Then why not? Why not go try to succeed and do it? Just because you making good money doing this career, you don't want to put your money into this estate and invest? You don't want to put some money into these stocks? You don't want to put this money into this banking system, into this investment system and have interest growing over it? You know, the more money you put, the more interest built on top of it. Come on. Like, there's so many things out there, guys, that have that money work for you. Have that money work for you. You can still be stable and have an amazing, balanced life. Work, family, you can go out, do your little hobbies, you can have fun, free time, all that. All that. And that's what people really need to learn in the US. Nobody wants to expand their knowledge and truly invest their money because they're so worried about the moment. They want that dollar in their hand right there. They don't want to see it go and get and see the slow times and see it build and invest and see the changes. They don't want that. They don't want that because they're scared.
Be the sole source of income.
Retirement is the final chapter of the American dream. But the dream of the golden years is quickly turning into a fairy tale.
Retiring in America today is not easy. It is a very tall mountain to climb.
More than a third of Americans today feel unprepared or unsure if they're on track for retirement.
And reports say that the Trump administration has been looking into the Australian model, and it's easy to see why. It shifts the burden of retirement away from the government and into employers as well as individuals, and it creates a massive pool of domestic capital.
The Netherlands is not alone in requiring people to save.
I've worked in a number of countries, including Chile and Australia. Both of those have national mandatory defined contribution plans. Both of the systems, I think, have worked fairly well in being able to help people get in early, invest, and save toward retirement.
But many experts say that this might not be perfect. The chance of this happening in the United States are next to zero. Why? 2 words: politics as well as culture. First, for the politics. Imagine telling every business in America, from giant corporations to mom and pop shops, that they're now required to add 12% of their payroll costs to a retirement fund. The political backlash would be nuclear, and businesses would lobby and—
Okay, what about the entrepreneurs though? What if the entrepreneurs are getting a benefit? How do the entrepreneurs get benefited in this? What about in Australia? Is it the same for them, or is the government immediately withholding something, some type of percentage? Well, impossible, because as an entrepreneur, you have to literally hand in you have to file your taxes alone. You're not getting a W-2 or this or that from a job. You have to pull those documents yourself. If you have write-offs or deductibles and stuff like that, then I can see, maybe I can see it working out like that way, but you have to do it manually. There's no way for entrepreneurs to actually like have the government do it for them. It's not like that in Australia, because this is for the working people on the books, right? What about entrepreneurs that are working, you know, and they're making great money and everything, but we pay our taxes and everything, but we don't have no employer because we are the employer. How can we take it out? Or like I said, does it really come to like educating yourself as a human being, as an entrepreneur? You have to know what you were doing. Basically, as far as investing for your retirement, would you just gonna make this money and save? You need a retirement. Would you still gonna be doing what you do until you 60, 70 years old, trying to make a living, trying to fend for yourself until the day you leave this earth? Why? Because you ain't never put no retirement to the side. So how does it work for the entrepreneurs? You going like Fidelity and stuff like that and invest? Because there's so many ways, you know. You probably don't get that same privilege as like the people on the books where like their employer has to take out that 12%. So it's a little more manual for the entrepreneurs, but I think it still works regardless. I think it still works regardless because the same things entrepreneurs are doing, people that work jobs, they can do the same thing with their money. They can have their employer take out the 12% and whatever money they get from their check, because nothing's getting pulled from their original pay. Nothing at all is getting pulled. Remember, they make that dollar, 12 cents is taken out, but not from their dollar or their original, payment, whether it's every week, every 2 weeks. No. Which is great. Now you could take some of that money out, split it up. You could save. You can invest and you can save. You could put some of that money away and actually have interest build on it. And that's your retirement. Put it in within a 401k system. There's a lot of apps out there. There's a lot of banking systems. You can do this. Anybody can, I like the automatic part, on behalf of the employer. We need to do that in the US. Not everyone is educated on how to invest and save for retirement. Not everyone has, I'm being honest, not everyone has mom and dad role models or older brothers or sisters or, not everyone can find this type of stuff on the internet or truly understand it or have a role model, even guide them to think like this. You have to think a certain way to be able to learn this stuff and look it up, search it. If you don't care about it at all, you're not going to care to educate yourself. You're not going to know how to do it until it's too late.
Retirement fund. The political backlash would be nuclear, and businesses would lobby and fight it tooth and nail. The US system is built on the idea of individual choices as well as responsibilities. A mandatory government savings program run counter to a deeply ingrained American ethos of economic liberty. The idea of government forcing you to save in a very specific way is a really hard sell. The Australian system was born out of a very specific moment in time, with agreements between unions as well as government. Replicating that in the current American political climate is basically impossible. The Australian model proves that public policy can directly create broad-based wealth. By taking the choice of saving out of the equation, they're ensuring a basic level of financial security. And the typical Australian isn't a tech billionaire. They're someone with a steady job, a house that's worth a lot of money, as well as a retirement account that has grown since the very start of their first paycheck. And it's really a powerful example, but for America, it's likely to remain just an example. And an example from a land that's far, far away.
And while property prices and share market returns are now weakening and the rising cost of living is squeezing millions of households, there are signs of all of this wealth.
Man, that was an amazing video.
Households.
That's it? I mean, it was an 8-minute video. I'd have turned this into a 23-minute video. I'm sorry, guys. I just had so much to input. I'm so sorry. But this video was so relatable. I love educational videos like this because you really learn a lot, especially if you put your mind to it and you really educate yourself. There's so much you guys could be doing with your money rather than just working, collecting that money, paying bills, and trying to save a little bit of what you have, and that's it. If you're going to save a little bit of what you have, at least, let it invest. Make something out of it. You never know. You can get out of that job. You may be able to get out of the job. You can have some more vacation time. You can have some more freedom. You can become your own boss, without even specifically having that on your mind, because you worked a career job. But it got to the point where you invested so much, you have so much invested within so much. You got so many different investing apps, banking systems, real estate. My goodness, there's so much out there to put your money into. That's why I be saying, like, how can people just be like, I don't have a retirement plan, or I don't do this, or how do you do that, or word, you can invest into that. I'm so tired of just hearing people saying, yeah, I want to start getting into stocks, investors. That's that, man. Nobody trying to hear that. Yeah, I'm trying to invest in stocks. What stocks you trying to invest in? With Fuzz or something? We ain't got no good. You can't invest in those stocks within the US right now, at least. Because everybody within the European Union and pulled out of our stocks, invested in their own stocks. Same with Canada, invest in their own stocks. Should I keep going? Everybody's investing in their own economies now, pulling out of the US. So that's not a good way. So that's how I know you ain't really educating yourself. That's what people just be telling me on the normal. I want to invest in stocks. Name one stock. Name one stock, bro. This is great. Everybody, please share your honest thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. Personal experiences as well. Maybe you yourself, family members, whoever, a spouse. I gotta stop saying that. You yourself. Maybe you, your friends, family members, or your spouse are investing, saving, currently building something while working a career job or a normal 9 to 5. It doesn't matter. This can work for anyone. And they're making it possible in Australia. Can this happen in the US? I don't know. And it gets to a point in the US where it's like the cost of living is really expensive. So when you start telling people you're going to control their money and pull this out or this and that, even though you're not really controlling their money, every dollar, 12% getting taken out, they're going to think, you're not taking my money. They're not even going to be eager to listen. They're going to be so ignorant. But like, besides that, when you start mentioning like controlling their money, pulling it out, or, this is for investment, this is for 401k, or how much tax do you want to withhold? A lot of people be cheap. They want to withhold the littlest percentage. You know what I'm saying? They want to invest the littlest amount because they're so cheap. They want the money in their pockets because they want it at that moment. Now, this could be because life is really expensive on a day-to-day basis, or they just want the money. They want to see it right there in their pocket. They're not thinking about retirement. See, I'm a man of longevity. You know what I'm saying? I like stability. I want to know that I have something consistent. I'm stable. And it's going to grow, It's going to grow over the years. Something I can look forward to. I like that. So you could live stress-free within your current times and be set for the future. You ain't got to be stressed about no future, this and that. You know what I'm saying? We only supposed to be stressed about the future when we get out of high school. What we going to do? What we going to go to college? Go to trade school? What, you got something you want to pursue? Stuff like that. Not when you in your 30s and 40s. So I don't got a retirement plan. I don't got this and that. What are you doing? What was you doing then? You was just working? There's a lot to learn from this video. I'm learning a lot, man. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm learning a lot, It makes me want to invest even more to continue to do right by the money, To me, money means nothing in this world. It's something that's printed. But if you invest it the right way, then you can actually put more time to the things that matter. Your health, family, free time, taking trips, traveling, experiencing, exploring. That's how you make the best of it. Not work and bust your behind for the rest of your life till retirement because of this dollar that ain't do nothing for you, but pay bills and buy some food or something. I'm talking about, I want to take trips. You got a real estate business. You got this and that. Like, you're living good. You know what I'm saying? Make the money work for you, my ladies and gentlemen. Do not work for the money. Like, you got to work for money, but at a certain point, you want that money to retire you. Facts. I love you all so much. Stay safe. Feel free to follow my Twitch, subscribe to all my other YouTube channels in the description down below. And I hope to catch you all in the next reaction video. Please share your honest thoughts and opinions, down below in the comment section. Educate me, please. Everybody, educate me. Anything you feel I missed or may not understand, or anything that you just want to involve, something you want to include within the comments that wasn't added into this video, please educate me. I'm here to read the comments. This goes for everyone else around the world. Go ahead, read the comments, educate yourself if you are not aware either, because there's a lot to learn. And it don't make no sense that in the US, people think it's luck, or you have to be the chosen one, or you have to sell your soul in order to live a stable life and to be financially stable. You don't even have to be well off, financially stable, or have a lot of rich assets, that you are heavily invested in. It's not luck. And you're not each person specifically chosen for that life. And it's being proven in Australia. Goodness. Stay safe. I love you all. And I hope to catch you all in the next reaction video.